Hi, I'm Ananya Chachura. I'm the founder of Painted Red. We talk to young girls and women about menstrual health and hygiene. We also try and create access to sustainable products like cloth pads and menstrual cups. The objective that we serve is to not only educate them about how to maintain a good menstrual hygiene, but also how to understand their bodies and how to advocate for menstrual rights. Creating access to sustainable products is an important aspect of what we do because period poverty keeps getting deeper in our country, and we're trying to address this through the way forward, which is sustainable products. I started Painted Red in 2019. It was during a field project in Bihar that I realized the gravity of period poverty and the lack of infrastructure to support women's health. There was no sanitary pad available for nearly 250 kilometers, and we struggled quite a bit to even locate a decent washroom. In the initial stage, I did face a lot of discouragement from friends and family. They wanted me to target something which was easier, or talk about something which was less stigmatized. But I was pretty adamant that it is one of the most basic aspects of a woman's life, and it must be addressed. One of the most positive things that I have found is how collaborative action is how the MHM sector functions. From the very beginning, I've had a cup partner, I've had cloth pad partners, I've had educators on board, and it has been a wonderful experience to see how many people are dedicated towards making menstrual rights are recognizable human rights in our country. We're hoping that over time we can create a policy change which can create a bigger impact in the lives of women. The response to Painted Red has been phenomenal. We started our work in West Bengal initially, but we have managed to reach out to people in Uttar Pradesh, in Tamil Nadu, Assam, Delhi, and had the COVID not disrupted our plans, we were going to cover all of these states between April and July. We have seen that rural women are very receptive to learning new things, while breaking the myths that they have grown up with still proves to be a massive challenge. They are ready to bring in minor behavioral changes. So from maintaining a period calendar to maintaining a period diary, they're very willing to take these actions of understanding their bodies and introspecting on how they can understand the signs that it sends. We have also seen the acceptability towards sustainable products, more so towards cloth pad than towards menstrual cups. People are ready because they see an economic factor attached to it. And of course, the fact that they do not have to worry about it from one month to another. Even though menstrual cups does challenge the virginity myth that is an impediment, we've also seen more than 20 women convert to cups from coming from rural areas, and we think that it is a slow and steady pace that we've been observing with menstruators on ground. So menstruation still remains a highly stigmatized topic in our society. There are some myths which are extremely absurd, and some which actually hold no relevance anymore. One of the most common ones that we experience is that a woman should not enter the kitchen. In the olden days, when women were expected to toil in the kitchen the entire day, it used to become a factor of being able to rest during this period. The other aspect was the lack of proper sanitary products, which used to confine them to a secluded area. The other thing that is very commonly believed is that one should not exercise or during their periods, and should confine themselves to complete rest. If you are somebody who experiences a lot of period cramps, rest is definitely recommended, but light exercises and basic yoga poses can definitely help in alleviating this pain rather than intensifying it. We definitely encourage more and more people to continue with their normal life, but it is also understandable if period camps are very intense. We also find that women are asked not to shampoo or even have baths for the first couple of days. Um, the relevance of this used to hold true when people used to use communal baths. It has no basis in a modern society where we have individual bathrooms, we have sanitary facilities, and we have no risk of contaminating any other region. There's a myth that popularly believes women should not enter temples, though this has become a norm now and an enforceable one too. What the Vedic literature used to actually suggest was that women have a power which is very close to God, and when a menstruating woman displays that power of procreation, and hence can exempt themselves from going to the temple and instead get together with other menstruating women and pray in the open. They were considered so close to God at that point of time because they had the power to create life that they were asked to pray to themselves and bring positive energy. I would suggest in terms of maintaining menstrual hygiene, and especially for young girls, please do not fall for the same stigmas that your vagina is supposed to smell a certain way. We tend to use hyper commercial products to clean our vaginal area. It is a self cleaning organ. It Using soaps, using any of these vaginal cleaning products, we tend to mess up the pH level. It is highly recommended that you stick to water when cleaning the area and use no particular product in that in your genitals. When you're cleaning yourself, make sure you do not do it from the anus to the vaginal tract, but the other way around. It reduces the chances of infections. And of course, whatever product you're using, please be sure that you're cleaning your hands and that you are changing it frequently enough as recommended by the according to the usage of the product. Currently, Painted Red is running extensive relief work in light of COVID and the cyclone Amphan. We call it the Bleed in Peace campaign. We're providing menstrual kits to women coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. These menstrual kits consist of reusable cloth pads, so we enable and empower women to not worry about their next menstrual cycle because one cloth pad can last up to 1.5 to 2 years. If you want to contribute to our cause, you can volunteer with us. We're running a crowdfunding effort, which you can definitely contribute to. We're also talking about and busting some myths through an exciting webinar series called Talk Period to Me. We hold a session every Saturday, and the details of which we upload on our Facebook and Instagram handles. In terms of educating other women, the theme for this year's Menstrual Health Day is to break the silence, and it's time for action. So one of the things that I would suggest is that stop using euphemisms and start having conversations openly about your periods. Be proud of it. Stop considering it dirty or impure, and definitely educate at least those friends and families around you. Involve men into the conversation and try and normalize and destigmatize periods to the best of your ability.